Pour yourself a cold one and join us for an hour filled to the brim with fun.
It hurts in my ears right now.
Entertainment.
Cheeky, bang, bang.
Information.
I need some water and a washcloth.
And a little weirdness.
Can I be a duck? Yeah, I don't think they want me to be a duck.
It's Happy Hour with DJ Kyle.
Hey, another fine show lined up for you here on Happy Hour, but we want to say thanks to our sponsors. Our veterinary, thank you so much for your support. Ozark Barge and Dock. Dock's built tough since 1988. Surdike Yamaha, year-round fun, always a great time with them. Our Ozarks Amphitheater, the exclusive attraction of Happy Hour, and the American Elm Company. Thank you for the great design that you have here on the set. Fantastic show, like I said, lined up for you. We sit down and talk with Mary Kay from Ozarks Amphitheater. I go and check out Paddleboard Yoga. You're not going to want to miss that. Always a fun time. Professor Jim Paisley stops by to be on the show with us today. And we have a great furry friends, a fantastic kitten coming up today. It's all of that and more right here on Happy Hour.
I'm a high step. The Avid Brothers, live in concert. I'm a stranger, I love stretching. Friday, June 16th, Ozarks Amphitheater. Finally learned what I need to know. I'm happier with nothing. With special guest, Government Mule. Sunshine is better than sunshine. The Avid Brothers, on sale now at ozarksamp.com and Bridal Cave. Don't miss The Avid Brothers, live, produced by Mammoth. Sadness.
Want a dock that will withstand the wake from a million boats? Want a dock that's different from the usual dock? Then you want Ozark Barge and Dock in Gravois Mills. Ozark Barge and Dock now celebrating 35 years of building the best dock on Lake of the Ozarks. And we guarantee every dock we build. So when it comes time to build your custom dock, trust the best and go with Ozark Barge and Dock, building the best dock at the lake for the last 35 years.
If it's happening at the lake, it's happening on Lake TV. From the Polar Plunge to festivals parades, Aquapalooza, and boat shows, Lake TV has it all. Even the granddaddy of them all, the shootouts. If you're looking for places to party, things to do, or even a new home to move into, you've gotta love Lake TV.
Your furry friends are more than pets, they're family, and at our veterinary, we understand that. With multiple locations, we can service your pets when and where you need it. Our team of professionals offer routine wellness, orthopedic care from broken bones to joint repair, and even emergency services. We are ready to welcome your pet to our family with medical or preventative care. Our veterinary, with 6 convenient locations, the team providing exceptional care for your pet when and where you need it.
Welcome back to Happy Hour, and we have our very own Mary Kay from the Ozarks Amphitheater, which is our exclusive attraction of Happy Hour. Mary Kay, how are you doing today?
I am doing well, thank you.
Oh, fantastic.
Glad to be here.
I tell you what, you've already put on some fantastic shows.
Yes.
Let's talk about some of the shows that we've already done at the amphitheater.
Well, we started off the season this year with Breaking Benjamin, so that was always great. We had them last year. They had so much fun. They wanted to come back, so schedules worked out great. So, yep, they were back. They started off the season. Then just last weekend, we had Dwight Yoakam with Aaron Lewis. And then we also had Chicago.
Yes.
The much
And
anticipated
I
Chicago.
saw the pictures of Chicago. I wasn't able to get to that show, but I saw the pictures, and it was just so beautiful to see the crowd of people just like all the way up to the back. It just absolutely amazing and just chilling whenever I see those pictures. That's like, this is right here in our hometown. So the Ozarks Amphitheater has a lot going on. Now, I got to go to the Dwight Yoakam concert, and it was such a great show. Everyone was just in a fantastic mood, and it was great weather. It really was just
It
spectacular.
was a perfect weekend.
But one thing that I was pretty shocked at, right when I came in the gate, I saw Taylor Swift at the show.
Yeah, can you believe that?
Just took a little time off of her touring. And so Taylor Swift, there was a cardboard cutout of Taylor Swift with a little sign and said something about winning free tickets. What's the story on that?
Well, Ozarks Amphitheater along with Bridal Cave, Big Surf, and Bear Bottom Resort, Best Lake Attractions, we've joined together, and it's a marketing effort through USA Today. And we have 2 tickets to see Taylor Swift on July 8th in Kansas City.
Wow. Okay, so how do they go about getting involved in this?
Or for a chance to win, okay, you've got to go to the website, bestlakeattractions.com, enter to win, and then the night of Trace Atkins, and that's June 30th, we're going to be pulling a winner from between Eddie Montgomery and Trace Atkins taking the stage. So
Wow.
we're pulling a winner live. So you don't have to be at that concert to win. We're going to do it all Facebook Live, so the lucky winner will be able to know immediately.
That is great. And these tickets are so sought after that people that get a hold of these tickets, it's like they're hanging on to them for dear life. So for a chance to win some tickets, that's pretty spectacular.
And they're spectacular seats. They're floor seats.
Really?
Yeah. So
So it's not nosebleed
no,
like up
no,
in the
no.
back?
You have
like,
to have binoculars to see her.
Is that Taylor? I don't know. It could be a lookalike. I don't
Right.
know. So that is absolutely great. Now I know that at the amphitheater you always love to do fun little giveaways and fun little guessing the next group that's coming in, and I absolutely love following on Facebook just to see all the different things that you have going on. Now you were talking about geocaching that you're getting ready to do. Why don't you explain a little bit about what geocaching is and kind of the thing that the amphitheater is doing here?
Okay, so we're doing another geocache. I know last year we did one at the city park, and we had so much fun. People really got involved with it. Some people, unfortunately, were out there hunting for hours. But this year we decided to up the game. So we are doing 3 geocaches in one day to win fabulous prizes for the Avett Brothers concert.
Oh, okay.
One of the prizes will be a signed Avett Brothers concert poster, which is really cool if you are an avid Avett Brothers fan. They do a unique poster for every concert. They get a local artist, and that artist does a drawing of local folklore.
Wow.
So each one is unique to the location they're going.
That's really cool.
Yeah, the one they did a couple years ago, and I cannot remember the name of it, and I apologize, but it's a stag, white stag, and its horns end up being rose bushes.
Really?
It was a beautiful drawing. So you have the opportunity, they only print 200.
Oh, okay.
So
So
these
it's
are highly
limited
sought
edition.
after. Yeah, I mean, people stand in line, and when the last one's gone, you can hear the in the crowd.
I was 201 and I
exactly.
missed out.
So that's very exciting. And then also the second geocache will be 2 pit passes to that show. So you get to stand right in front of the pit and have them sing right to you.
So now how does this work? Like I have a lot of friends that do geocaching, so I've gone around with them and I know that they have like apps and stuff like that. How does this work for the amphitheater? Is it all on your Facebook page?
It's all on the Facebook page. So we'll be doing 1 an hour, and we'll give you the coordinates for the location that you've got to go hunt, and then we'll give you a clue of what you're looking for.
Okay, what day is this? I have to make sure to take off work.
That will be June 16th, the day of the concert.
Okay, all right.
It's a Friday.
Okay, sounds good. So I'm just going to take off the whole day and
perfect.
go try to get some pit passes. And now, can one person win more than one, or is it better just you win one and
1 and done.
call it done?
Yeah, exactly.
So all of the information will be up on your Facebook on June 16th.
On June 16th.
What time is the first one going to be released?
It'll start probably at 9 o'clock because then that's when all the businesses that we are partnering with will be open.
Okay.
So I just gave you a hint. It's at a business, but.
Oh, this is exciting. And yeah, the last year, the one that you did in the park, we won't talk about that, but that was a brilliant idea, and it had a lot of people stumped that were, like you said, were sending you pictures going, is this what it is? I don't know what I'm looking for now. So yeah, this is going to be good. I cannot wait. So let's talk about the concert that's coming up June 16th. Mm-hmm. What do you expect? What do you anticipate in the concert? Because this is not their first time here.
This will be the second time that we've had them. The first time that we had them scheduled was, of course, COVID year. Mm-hmm. And then it took us a bit to reschedule, and we had them back for 2021. It was such a great audience, such a great concert. Mm-hmm. And the Avett brothers have, as we like to call them, rabid fans. These people will travel all over the United States, some all over the world to see them. There's several people that we know here at the lake that have actually seen them over 30 plus times.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, one couple followed them all the way down the coast of California, and then ended up meeting a lovely couple from Puerto Rico, and then they ended up bringing them with them when they played at the Ozarks Amphitheater. So
that is really cool. That's epic just to see that whole circle. Now, I know our very own William Holtz went to the show last year and said that it was one of the best shows that he's ever been to. So I know he's very excited about going again this year. And I'm excited. I don't think that I'm able to go to this one, but I've got other obligations. Yeah, unfortunately. But I know that it's going to be a fantastic show, and people could get their tickets online.
Right, online, or Bridal Cave, Split Arrow Boutique, or our office. And if you buy your tickets there, you save yourself all those nasty ticketing fees that come with Ticketmaster. The only fee that we would put on is if you buy your tickets with a credit card, there's a $3 credit card processing fee. Yeah. And that's it.
Now, not only can you get your tickets to any of the shows online, but you also have added preferred parking this year?
Correct. Yes, we have preferred parking, so that gets you parking in 2 different locations. You come in the main gate, and you can either park closer to the main gate, depends on how things fill up, or we take you over and park you in what we call the church parking lot. And then that brings you up to the top of the amphitheater. So the views up there are spectacular.
Yeah.
Plan for a little bit of a hike, because if you've got seats way down in the 100s, wear some good walking shoes.
Yes, exactly. But it is a beautiful sight. You come through that gate, I would say the back gate, the one up at the very top, and you just look over the entire amphitheater. Usually the sun's starting to kind of like go down over the amphitheater stage, and it's just a beautiful sight. And I am so thankful for what you guys have been doing out there at the amphitheater. So
Thank you.
We have some big shows coming up. Now, again, tell everyone where they can go to get their preferred parking seats or preferred parking tickets and the tickets to the upcoming concerts.
Well, of course, our website, which is the safest place to get your tickets online, is ozarksamp.com, or get them in person, save yourself ticketing fees, Bridal Cave, Bridal Cave, Split Arrow Boutique, or our office. And by the way, you're going to be at the Ozarks Amphitheater July 2nd.
I have been absolutely just looking forward to this date, telling everyone about it. I get to play music before Earth, Wind, and Fire. And now I have to think about what kind of costume I'm going to wear. Like, I feel like maybe a polyester suit or something.
It's going to be a little hot. You might want to rethink that.
Polyester with maybe sleeves cut out or something. Do they make polyester short suits?
I bet you could find that.
I probably could. Everything's on Amazon. I could probably just look through there. But yeah, I get to be there July 2nd, and I'm super excited about that. And just to be able to watch Earth, Wind, and Fire, it's just such an epic group that has so many fantastic hits, and just all the hits just make you like groove. So yeah, I've been inviting a lot of people, so that might be
fantastic.
There might be a lot of people at that show.
And I think it's just, we have 3 iconic shows this season. We've had Chicago, and it was so great listening to everybody sing. I mean, it was fantastic.
It's like a karaoke contest.
Right,
like
exactly.
Everyone just sings along.
And then we have Earth, Wind, and Fire. It's going to be the same. And then we're, towards the end of the season, we have the Doobie Brothers, and it's just like, man, great music.
And I'm excited because the Doobie Brothers, I think, this might be a secret, so hopefully they're not watching, but I I think I'm going to get my parents some tickets to that show because that would be just a great show for them to go to.
Well, then you better hurry up and get them.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
It's getting down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah,
huh?
I don't think there's anything left in the lower bowl for that one.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I got to get
Get 'em while
online.
they're hot.
I got to get online and get them, and you go and get them online as well. Thank you, Mary Kate, for coming out today and telling us all about the great stuff that we have going on at the Ozarks Amphitheater. And please make sure you check out their Facebook page and the geocaching. That's June 16th is when that starts. So mark your calendars right now and get ready for all the information to come online. We have a lot more coming up for you on Happy Hour right here on Lake TV. Thanks for joining us.
Want a dock that will withstand the wake from a million boats? Want a dock that's different from the usual dock? Then you want Ozark Barge and Dock in Gravois Mills. Ozark Barge and Dock now celebrating 35 years of building the best dock on Lake of the Ozarks. And we guarantee every dock we build. So when it comes time to build your custom dock, trust the best and go with Ozark Barge and Dock, building the best dock at the lake for the last 35 years.
The Ozarks Amphitheater, the exclusive attraction of Happy Hour. Would you like to go see a show and park really close but not arrive way early? Well, make sure you get your preferred parking tickets. Along with that, make sure you check out all the great concerts we have. The Avett Brothers special guest Government Mule coming in Friday, June 16th. Also, Walker Hayes, special guest Ingrid Andress, and Ray Fulcher. That's happening Thursday, June 22nd. It's at the Ozarks Amphitheater. Go get your tickets at ozarksamp.com.
Winter, spring, summer, or fall, Lake TV's got it all. We think it's hot stuff when things cool down. We spring into action when things start warming up. Of course, summer is one big, huge shootout on Lake TV. And we fall in love all over again when autumn rolls around. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, Lake TV's got it all.
Your furry friends are more than pets, they're family. And at our veterinary, we understand that. With multiple locations, we can service your pets when and where you need it. Our team of professionals offer routine wellness, orthopedic care from broken bones to joint repair, and even emergency services. We are ready to welcome your pet to our family with medical or preventative care. Our veterinary, with 6 convenient locations, the team providing exceptional care for your pet when and where you need it.
Welcome back to Happy Hour. We are on location right here at Lake of the Ozarks. And tell everyone, who do we have with us?
My name's Khalees Lishway. I'm the owner of Kalia Malahia Sup Yoga here at the Lake of the Ozarks.
Now that's something that I've tried. I'm friends on Facebook and I try to say it, but I can't quite say it. So what's the name again?
It's Kalia Malahia Sup Yoga.
Very cool. What does that mean? Where did the name come from?
So paddleboarding started in Hawaii, and I was trained by an instructor that owned her paddleboard and sup business in Hawaii. So in Hawaiian, Kalia Malahia Sup Yoga means finding bliss on the water.
Oh, finding bliss on the water. I feel like that's something that I'm gonna do today, or at least we're gonna give it a shot, right?
Yes.
So here's the deal. I've attempted some yoga just on land, on dry land, and I'm not very good at that. I'm working at it, I'm trying, and I would like to do a little bit better. But now we're going to attempt to do yoga floating on the water without training wheels or anything, right? Like
Yes.
No one's gonna be holding the board. I'm gonna be just floating on the water, and we're going to try to do something that I've never done before, yoga, right?
Yes.
So now for a beginner like me, what would you suggest?
Well, all of our classes are for beginners. Most of our clients that come down here are just looking for something outdoorsy to do, something different, something fun. And most people that have joined me on the water over the last 6 or 7 years have never done paddleboarding and have never done yoga. The class is designed, so in the beginning, I show you and teach you about paddleboarding. We get on the water, we do a little bit of a paddle warm-up, and then we head to our yoga spot, we anchor, and then we go through a really gentle flow that connects you with the water, the beautiful lake, and just gentle poses so you can get comfortable with your board.
So you've been at this for quite a few years.
Yeah.
What are the kind of groups like? Do you have a lot of bachelorette parties that come down to the lake during the weekend and say, you know what we would like to do is something nice and relaxing and connect, and maybe just to have that one easy moment instead of going out and partying all the time?
I've had bachelorette parties, birthday parties. I've had family reunions come. I've had kids' birthday parties on the water, big families, girls' night out, lots of different groups.
And even just solo people, just by themselves coming down and just joining in the crew, and probably leaving as friends with a lot of the people as well, right?
Yeah, my opening paddle was at the Naughty Fish on Saturday, and that was all just random bookings from all over the lake that came down, and then they were talking and they connected and everything during and after class. So,
well, I say we hit the water and just see how many times I'm going to fall in. Are we taking numbers? Are we taking some bets? I brought my fiance along with us, so Shay is going to join us as well, and she's probably going to make me look even worse because she's going to probably get it down on the very first try, and there I'm going to be falling off. But needless to say, we're going to have a good time, and we're going to just connect with nature, right?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Well, we're back on dry land. I didn't fall into the water. There was a couple close moments, but I just have to say thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yeah.
I don't know if people don't even realize how much this is like medicine. It's like it like rejuvenate. I feel less stressed. I feel stretched out. I feel healthier and just better. How can people get a hold of you to do one of these classes? I know you do a lot of private events and stuff like that.
So
how do they do this?
I'm on Facebook, Kalia Malahia Sup Yoga. I also have a website they can book from and an Instagram, so it's kaliamalahia.supyoga.com. Or they can message me, find me on Facebook, and send me a message, and they can look at my schedule and book me privately to come to their place.
So a lot of private events you have coming up,
Yes.
and you do have a public event that's open for outsiders to come and just join in. That's coming up in July,
Yeah,
is that right?
July 1st. It's the 4th of July weekend. It's at the Naughty Fish Rum Bar in Camdenton. It starts at 9 a.m. and I have boards open and we're doing a yoga flow and then mimosas afterwards.
Hey, yoga and mimosas. That sounds like a great, that's a team right there.
It is, yes.
So again, that's July 1st. And how do people sign up on that? Same thing on your
website
Facebook?
or Facebook.
Okay,
Yep.
very good.
Yep.
And thank you again
Thank
for
you.
letting us come out here and enjoy this beautiful day.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. We have more of Lake TV and more of Happy Hour coming up.
I'm a high step. The Avett Brothers, live in concert. I'm alive, I'm a stranger, I love stretching. Friday, June 16th, Ozarks Amphitheater.
Finally learned what I need to know. I'm happier with nothing.
With special guest, Government Mule.
Sunshine is better than sunshine.
The Avett Brothers, on sale now at ozarksamp.com and Bridal Cave. Don't miss The Avett Brothers, live, produced by Mammoth.
Sadness.
Want a dock that will withstand the wake from a million boats? Want a dock that's different from the usual dock? Then you want Ozark Barge and Dock in Gravois Mills. Ozark Barge and Dock now celebrating 35 years of building the best dock on Lake of the Ozarks. And we guarantee every dock we build. So when it comes time to build your custom dock, trust the best and go with Ozark Barge and Dock, building the best dock at the lake for the last 35 years.
If it's happening at the lake, it's happening on Lake TV. From the Polar Plunge to festivals parades, Aquapalooza, and boat shows, Lake TV has it all. Even the granddaddy of them all, the shootouts. If you're looking for places to party, things to do, or even a new home to move into, you've gotta love Lake TV.
Your furry friends are more than pets, they're family. And at our veterinary, we understand that. With multiple locations, we can service your pets when and where you need it. Our team of professionals offer routine wellness, orthopedic care from broken bones to joint repair, and even emergency services. We are ready to welcome your pet to our family with medical or preventative care. Our veterinary, with 6 convenient locations, the team providing exceptional care for your pet when and where you need it.
Welcome back again to Happy Hour. I'm your host, DJ Kyle, and we have Professor Jim Paisley here with us. Jim,
hi, buddy.
Always great to see you.
Great to see you.
Now, we've been talking about the history of Missouri and, some different things that have gone on in the past here in Missouri. But let's talk a little bit about the history of Missouri, more St. Louis for World War II. There was a lot of things that you're kind of going to teach us a little bit about how Missouri played a big role in World War II.
You bet. In the last show we talked about the Missouri Mules and how they were using those in World War I. Well, Missouri contributed unbelievably during World War II. And a lot of people aren't aware of it, even though when you travel to these cities, most of the structures for the things that they were building are still there.
Really?
And there's just tons of people here in Missouri who actually worked in the factories and built everything we needed to conduct that war right here in Missouri. And a shout out to all the women out there. The women, most of the men were out fighting.
Yep.
So the women worked in most of these factories, and I mean, they built everything: tanks, planes, munitions, you name it. The Rosie the Riveter was a real thing.
That's what I was
Yes,
just thinking.
exactly
Rosie,
right,
I always
buddy.
think of that.
That's
I'm like,
right.
that's when
So
the ladies were just.
I thought what we'd do is we talk about St. Louis today, and then our next segment we'll talk about Kansas City to keep it fair. All right. So Missouri was unique in that we provided all sorts of products going into the war. And what was interesting is we saw the whole industry shape of the United States change as a result of that war. Going into the war, there were 170,000 small businesses and only just a handful of big corporations. So we saw things transition, if you will. It started out, we had to call on all these small businesses to make things, to conduct the war. But as the war continued forward, and when we came out of the war, we saw big corporations had been built in order to meet the needs of the country. So that was kind of an interesting transition. Now, what we saw happen as well is in Missouri, it wasn't just making things like munitions and tanks, et cetera. We also have to feed that army.
Oh, yeah.
And when you've got millions of men out in the field, somebody's got to feed them. And so the farmers in Missouri produced all sorts of things, products to feed that army. And it was interesting in the fact that farmers were given exemptions and farm hands were given an exemption. To not be drafted into the service, they were actually called upon to go and work the farms.
Yeah, so they were still part of the service, but just
exactly.
the tail end, like getting the food to the men.
Now, citizens, like I say, were called upon to help as well. And one of the interesting things here is that the citizens, because most of the food is being shipped out to help the troops, citizens were called upon to basically take care of themselves. And you ask your grandparents out there, most of them had what they called a victory garden. Probably similar to what you have at your farm now.
I've heard of this term.
But they built these gardens, and they grew all the food that they needed, corn and beans and so on. And my grandfather had one. And they learned canning. They canned their products and put them in a root cellar. And so, they weren't as big a draw on what was being produced because they were doing a lot of it at home, okay? Another thing they found out was that we had a huge need for scrap metal. To build all these different products, we needed scrap metal. So what we did is we had drives where you'd go around and people would collect old tires, and they'd collect tin off the roof of barns. They'd collect copper from copper pipes, etc.
And wasn't this even like knives and forks and stuff?
You name
like
it.
anything?
Absolutely.
Anything that you didn't need, you brought in.
And it's amazing, and the kids got into it, and it literally got to the point where we were able to supply everything we needed to be melted down to build a plane or build munitions, etc.
Wow.
So it was they term it as a war footing, but basically everybody contributed. Everybody had a role to play, whether you were on the front lines fighting or you were back home contributing.
It was definitely a group effort.
Yes.
Like so much more than you would probably see today.
Right.
If we went into war.
Exactly. Now, you can imagine if I came into you and said, okay, here's what we're going to do. You're going to build a B-24 bomber. And you're going, okay.
I've not built one of those before.
How do I start, right? Or you're going to work in a munitions plant. You're going to be making these huge rounds. Well, what happened was we realized we needed to train the people. And we talk about that today, about how the younger generation has lost a lot of those skills. Well, what the government stepped in and did is they passed a law. It was Public Law 647. And what it was, it called it VEND. It was Vocational Education for National Defense. And we literally took in hundreds of thousands of people and taught them the skills they needed in order to contribute to build the war machine. And so this is where people learn how to do machining and how to do welding and how to do, you name it.
Yeah.
If it was needed to build the war effort, you got the training, and the government provided that for you. Then when we talk about St. Louis was probably one of the single most important cities in the United States for war production. And they had a huge number of contracts, which naturally brought in billions of dollars to St. Louis, but it also put a lot of people to work. And bear in mind, you know, we're in a stage here where we're coming out of the Depression years, so you know, we hired tons of people to go to work. Now, what we did, and this is fascinating, they would take what we were currently doing and convert it over to war production. And you had people like Singer Sewing Machines were making rifles. You had the automobile plants all shut down, and now the production lines were building things like tanks and jeeps and planes.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a change.
In St. Louis, it was amazing. They had a company called the Schluter Manufacturing Company. And you know what they made? Pots and pans. Now you think, okay, so they make pots and pans. Well, when you were a little kid and you were playing, did you ever, you know, play Army and you put a pot on your head?
No.
Well, guess what? That's what they did. They said, how hard would it be to just mold that pot to make a helmet? And so the helmets were made in St. Louis by the Schluter Manufacturing Company
that made pots and pans. They didn't have like a handle up.
No.
Did they? Okay,
No.
I wasn't sure.
But you know, in a lot of the old movies, you'd hear them say, well, you know, put that pot on your head. That's what they're talking about. That's literally what it started out as being. Another big company there was the Diagraph Bradley Company. Now, you would think, you know, it wouldn't be that big a deal, but they made stencils. And you know, the stencils where you put it on there and you spray paint?
Yeah.
Well, think about this. All of the stuff that had to be manufactured and shipped, all the supplies, everything, you had to have a way of marking all this stuff.
Yeah.
St. Louis, this company, made all the stencils for the military. You know, and it didn't matter if you're marking a Jeep or if you're marking a plane or if you're marking a box of turnips, whatever it was.
And all the ammunition boxes?
All the ammunition boxes, absolutely. So that company became huge as well. Now, probably the biggest one, and most of the people in St. Louis, you're familiar with this, out there by Lambert Field in St. Louis, up north on 70 there used to be a gigantic building. It sat off to the right there as you're headed into town, just past Lambert. And this thing was the St. Louis Ordnance Plant. And this is where they made the military rounds, all of the ammunition, everything from the rifle rounds all the way up to 50 caliber rounds for the machine guns on the planes, artillery rounds. They made it there.
All there in St. Louis.
All there in St. Louis.
Wow.
Now, here's what will blow your mind. This is just beyond comprehension. Ground was broken for the plant on March the 28th of 1941 at the northern edge of St. Louis. All right, in March of 1921. It covered 300 acres, and by the war's end, it had over 4 million square feet of floor space for production.
Wow.
Yes, all right. Now, here's what just absolutely blows my mind. They built this thing, and it turned out to be the biggest industrial plant in the Midwest. And much like the other ammunition plants across the nation, there was one in Kansas City, but this one in St. Louis was absolutely huge. And the unique thing was the government provided the money to build it, but they used private contractors to run it. And in St. Louis, it was the Western Ordnance Company. Okay. Now, to illustrate the size of this thing, okay, and they built this thing in less than a year, okay? You can imagine.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's unheard of.
Yeah, I mean, now we'd be doing environmental studies for 2 or 3 years. No, we needed it, so boom, off they went. And bear in mind, as soon as they decided to build it, they turned around and took people, and they took them off-site and trained them how to use the equipment. So the day the thing opened, people walked in and went right to work.
Right to work.
Yes.
Because, we need that ammunition.
Right.
And we need it now.
Yes. Now, what was fascinating, and I wrote down a few of the facts of what it took to run this plant. The plant used over 6 million gallons of water a day. 6 million gallons a day of water, all right? Used 4,400 gallons of lubricating oil on their machinery. 428 trucks were required to bring in materials each day, and 60 railroad carloads of brass were used every day.
Wow.
I mean, think about that.
Yeah, that's a huge undertaking.
It's a huge amount. It required 580,000 kilowatt hours of electricity, okay, every day, and nearly 5 million cubic feet of gas and 88 tons of coal every day.
Wow.
To run this thing. I mean, like I say, it's beyond our comprehension. It had 26 cafeterias on site because you have to feed all of those workers there. Every few stations that they had a registered nurse or a medic there. They had their own hospital on site to take care of people. I mean, this place was, it was a city within a city. It really was. Now, ammunition was being produced 7 months after they broke ground for this place. They walked out there in an empty field and said, we're going to build this place. And 7 months later, they're cranking out ammunition.
Wow.
Can you imagine trying to do that today?
That just couldn't happen.
Exactly, yeah. So here they are. These guys open up, and they opened up just a week after the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941. They produced nearly 13 billion rounds of ammunition. 13 billion rounds, okay? Enough. They said it was enough ammunition to circle the Earth 6 times laid end to end if you put all the bullets together.
Wow.
I mean, it's just beyond comprehension. And like I say, they made 30 caliber carbine rounds, 30-06 for the M1 Garand. They had 50 caliber used in the heavy machine guns on the planes, etc. And it was just beyond comprehension. They're cranking this stuff out like crazy. Well, there was another secret plant there in St. Louis that most people aren't aware of it, but everybody in St. Louis has heard of Emerson Electric.
Yeah.
It's a big outfit, okay?
Yeah.
Well, during the war years, Emerson Electric, they were called upon to build something new. It was top secret, and that was the ball turret. Now, on the planes that you see in World War II, they had those turrets, those round turrets. Well, they ran on electric motors. And so, they said, well, Emerson Electric, what can you come up with? And they designed these ball turrets that went onto all of our planes, okay?
Wow.
They were only made there in St. Louis, so top secret plant. But this thing made all of the ball turrets that we used on our bombers and all of our equipment, that needed a ball turret right here in St. Louis. Okay,
that's crazy.
And what was fascinating, it basically here again, it was funded by the federal government, but private entities. Emerson is the one that's building these things. Now, what was fascinating again is they came in there and said, we need to revamp your whole plant to build these things.
Yeah.
And sure enough, they did. And 6 months after they broke ground to build these things, they were cranking out turrets.
Of course.
6 months.
Yeah, because you need that stuff now.
Right,
and
right.
They're just right on it.
And sure enough, they built 5 different types of turrets during the war. They had the Sperry ball turret, which was used on the big B-17 Flying Fortresses, and also on the B-24 Liberator. They had an upper deck turret that was used on Grumman Avengers, light bombers. They also built the upper deck turrets that went on the B-24 Liberators.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they basically created those little nose ones that were on the front of the things.
Yep, on
and
the
the poor guy in the bottom one,
Yep.
they made those. They all came from Emerson Electric in St.
All there
Louis.
in St. Louis.
Yeah, and so it was absolutely fascinating in that, here we are, we're in the middle of the country. You'd think, well, what can we do to contribute? And here we are, we're cranking out millions of rounds of ammo, all the stencils, and we turned around and also build this top secret weapon. Because think about the other planes, folks, the guys that we're fighting. No, they didn't have that. That's a pretty handy thing to have.
Yeah, we have a little leg up on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So,
and again, all right here in St. Louis. I'm excited to hear about what we have next, what's going on in Kansas City during World War II.
You bet, and it's every bit as big and fascinating.
Absolutely. Professor Jim, thank you so much for coming in. Always a pleasure having you here on the show. And of course, always learning things, so make sure you join us next time when we have Professor Jim Paisley here talking about World War II and Kansas City. A whole lot more of Happy Hour coming up right after this.
Want a dock that will withstand the wake from a million boats? Want a dock that's different from the usual dock? Then you want Ozark Barge and Dock in Gravois Mills. Ozark Barge and Dock now celebrating 35 years of building the best dock on Lake of the Ozarks. And we guarantee every dock we build. So when it comes time to build your custom dock, trust the best and go with Ozark Barge and Dock, building the best dock at the lake for the last 35 years.
The Ozarks Amphitheater, the exclusive attraction of Happy Hour. Would you like to go see a show and park really close but not arrive way early? Well, make sure you get your preferred parking tickets. Along with that, make sure you check out all the great concerts we have. The Avett Brothers special guest Government Mule coming in Friday, June 16th. Also, Walker Hayes, special guest Ingrid Andress, and Ray Fulcher. That's happening Thursday, June 22nd. It's at the Ozarks Amphitheater. Go get your tickets at ozarksamp.com.
Winter, spring, summer, or fall, Lake TV's got it all. We think it's hot stuff when things cool down. We spring into action when things start warming up. Of course, summer is one big, huge shootout on Lake TV. And we fall in love all over again when autumn rolls around. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, Lake TV's got it all.
Oh man, it's like Memorial Day weekend already, and we got a great cup of coffee for you.
Latest on the Lakeport Village. Do we really need a tiff?
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Huge traffic coming to town for the holiday week. We'll tell you all about that.
Plus, we're gearing up for season number 2 of our LOZ featured doc series, and we want to feature your doc.
Wow, tell us where you are. So be sure to join us for a cup of coffee this week.
Fancy Light. The country music sensation is coming to Lake of the Ozarks. Fancy Light, Applebee's. Walker Hayes, Duck Buck Tour, June 22nd, Ozarks Amphitheater. With special guests Ingrid Andress. Maybe I'm just wishful drinking. And Ray Fulcher. On sale now at ozarksamp.com and Bridal Cave. Walker Hayes Live.
Your furry friends are more than pets, they're family. And at our veterinary, we understand that. With multiple locations, we can service your pets when and where you need it. Our team of professionals offer routine wellness, orthopedic care from broken bones to joint repair, and even emergency services. We are ready to welcome your pet to our family with medical or preventative care. Our veterinary, with 6 convenient locations, the team providing exceptional care for your pet when and where you need it.
Apologies in advance for the fact that the B-roll is going to be mostly this.
Percy's just going to town.
Yeah. This kind of hurts. Why are you made of knives?
We're in the kitten room with Mary Meow Tilly, and we have a couple of adorable kittens. This is Claudia that I have here.
Clawdia.
Yes, she lives up to her name. She's also very bitey, but for the most part, they're gentle bites. She's also obsessed with my microphone, so I'll do my best to keep her off of it, but no promises. And who do you have there?
I have Argus.
Argus.
And behind us, we have Argus's siblings, Piper and Percy.
Piper and Percy.
Percy is the one who is crying because he wants his brother back.
Little sad. So today we have 2 separate kittens for a reason, because we're featuring pretty much all the kittens.
Yes. So this is all the kittens that we have available right at this moment.
Okay.
Just the 4. We have the litter of 3. Claudia came in with a brother who has since been adopted already, Clausen. These guys are 12 weeks old. Claudia, believe it or not, is older. She's actually 13 weeks. Okay. She's very petite for her age. She was about half the size of her brother the whole time that she's been here.
She's very tiny, but boy, is she feisty.
Very feisty, very energetic, very playful, got that adorable little spotted belly. I don't expect her to be around for very long. We are right in the middle of kitten season. Our quarantine building is full of young'uns. We have 13 kittens getting fixed this week.
Boy, that's a lot of kittens.
So once they get fixed, just like with everybody else, we like to hang on to them for about a week post-surgery, make sure that everybody heals up right, there's no issues with their incisions or anything like that. And then after that week is up, then they may move down here a little earlier, but after the week is up, then they will be available and the website will get updated and everything. So we only have 4 right now, but we're gonna have
More
a
is
steady
coming.
stream of them
Yeah.
for probably the rest of the summer.
Yeah. Yeah, totally understandable. Do they have any kind of like special rules? Like, I mean, of course, there's certain things to consider when you're adopting a kitten, right?
Right. So for the most part, the general majority of our kittens are not going to have any kind of special requirements. Obviously, not a fenced yard or anything like that. You know, we want our kitties to remain inside, to be indoor only babies, because it's so much safer for them.
Yeah.
We like to see them go in pairs. We don't, for the most part, we don't require it. Occasionally, we're going to have bonded ones that, you know, we will say, you know, these two have to go together, but for the most part, you can adopt one. When you do adopt 2, we like to see them be 2 from the same litter if possible.
Yeah.
Like I really feel after seeing what's been going on here while we've been prepping to film, I really feel like maybe Percy and Argus might need to stay together because he's really been crying for his brother since I pulled him out of there.
They're buddies.
The thing about adopting kittens in pairs, especially if you don't have another cat in the household, is that they do so much better. They
entertain each other.
They entertain each other. They wear each other out. They're not as destructive because they have a buddy. They have a playmate. They have something to do.
Yeah.
And they have somebody to snuggle with. And if you're going to be gone for long periods of time, you know, if you work outside of the home, and they're not going to be left alone. They're going to have a friend with them.
Yeah.
Or if you have another cat that gets along with you know, cats and kittens, you know, then you know, it's okay to get a single because they're going to have that built-in buddy there at home.
Yeah.
But kittens that are adopted by themselves can get bored very easy, which can cause them to look for trouble.
Yeah.
Then they're going to get in your trash, and they're going to get after your toilet paper rolls, and
get into
cause
everything.
all kinds of chaos and havoc, wouldn't you? Yes. Wouldn't you?
So, because you have a lot of kittens, and I'm sure puppies as well.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of expenses that come with that. So, if people would like to donate to Ozarks Cat and Canine, how do they go about that?
So we have a button on our Facebook page, right at the top of the page. When you donate through Facebook, because we are set up as a nonprofit on there, Facebook does not keep any of those funds. It all goes directly to us. It does take a little bit for us to get those funds, though. So, you know, when we do those Facebook fundraisers, we don't, depending on the time of the month that we do it and when everything closes out, it can be a month or better before we actually see that money in hand.
Gotcha.
We have, there's a donate button on our website, which is through our PayPal account. So that money comes directly to us. PayPal does, unfortunately, take out a little bit of a fee. It's not a whole lot. But, you know, you might want to keep that in mind if you donate that way. And then also on our website is our mailing address. If people are mailing checks, we prefer that they use our P.O. box, just because our box that is here on the property is out on the highway, right on the road. And there has been a time or two over the years that it has gotten hit, run over, and mail goes flying. So just for the security of anything of any value, you know, we do have a P.O. box that is listed on the website that you can mail checks to. Or of course, you can come in here to the shelter. You can pay with you can come into the shelter and give us cash, give us a check, pay with a card. You can call me on the phone, and I can take a card over the phone, too.
Perfect. So. All right. Well, if you're looking for a kitten, or a few, you can come to Ozarks Cat and Canine and meet your perfect kitten. And of course, apply in advance at ozarkscatcannon.com.
We do have the application process. They can find that app online. And one thing I do want to point out, we're talking about money and fees. Our adoption fee for kittens is $40 for one, $60 for a pair.
Okay.
So you get a little bit of a discount. You get that second one half off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buy one, get one half off. It's perfect.
Kitten BOGO.
Yes. All right, I'm going to put Claudia back in her cage before she climbs on top of my head. As I say that. That does it for another Furry Friends presented by our veterinary. Your furry friends are more than pets, they're family, and at our veterinary, we understand that. With multiple locations, we can service your pets when and where you need it. Our team of professionals offer routine wellness, orthopedic care from broken bones to joint repair, and even emergency services. We are ready to welcome your pet to our family with medical or preventative care. Our veterinary, with 6 convenient locations, the team providing exceptional care for your pet when and where you need it.
The Ozarks Amphitheater, the exclusive attraction of Happy Hour. Would you like to go see a show and park really close but not arrive way early? Well, make sure you get your preferred parking tickets. Along with that, make sure you check out all the great concerts we have. The Avett Brothers special guest Government Mule coming in Friday, June 16th. Also, Walker Hayes, special guest Ingrid Andress, and Ray Fulcher. That's happening Thursday, June 22nd. It's at the Ozarks Amphitheater. Go get your tickets at ozarksamp.com.
Want a dock that will withstand the wake from a million boats? Want a dock that's different from the usual dock? Then you want Ozark Barge and Dock in Gravois Mills. Ozark Barge and Dock now celebrating 35 years of building the best dock on Lake of the Ozarks. And we guarantee every dock we build. So when it comes time to build your custom dock, trust the best and go with Ozark Barge and Dock, building the best dock at the lake for the last 35 years.
Thank you again for joining us on this week's edition of Happy Hour. It's the happiest hour on TV, and we couldn't do it without our fantastic sponsors. Thanks to Surdike Yamaha, year-round fun, always a great time hanging out with them. Our good friends at Our Veterinary bringing us that furry friends with those cute little kittens, always a fantastic time. Ozark Barge and Dock, docks built tough since 1988. And our good friends at Ozarks Amphitheater, the exclusive attraction of Happy Hour. A fantastic show today. Again, thank you to all of our guests that we had on. Mary Kay from the Ozarks Amphitheater, that paddleboard yoga, always a fun time. Hope you enjoyed that. Professor Jim Paisley, thank you so much for being on the show. Now join us next week. We have a great show lined up. A lot of people ask me about what's going on the farm. When I'm out and about, they're like, what's been happening at the farm? So next week, we're gonna go on the farm and see some brand new animals. So we'd invite you to join us next week on the show. We also check in with Kevin Hilly, the talk of the town, always a fantastic time. And we have another Furry Friends. All of that right here on Lake TV and right here on Happy Hour.